Hi, Blaze. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me once more. Today, I have a special treat besides Blaze, who some of you may know, but I rescued him recently, my new baby. So today's treat is going to happen in two segments. I would love to share with you the 10 things, starting out with 5 today, the 10 things I did that paid dividends into my future of youth and longevity and may have very well be the discovering, and it may very well be that I've discovered the fountain of youth in doing so. So, let me give you a list of the first 5 main things to cover today, and then I'll explain a little bit about how I came to those things. I didn't smoke, that's 1. I didn't drink, that's 2. I didn't do any drugs, that's an easy one, of course. And I gave up all dairy. So let's start with I didn't smoke. Well, that's easy. You know, smoking naturally ages you, dries out your skin, it's got poisonous chemicals, and it's been proven, and now there are warnings on the label. So I did not start smoking as soon as I was legal to. I didn't feel the pressure to. I didn't feel like, oh, wow, I'm 21, now I need to go and rebel in that way. The other thing was I didn't drink. You may not know this, a lot of people don't know this, but when you drink excessively, as you can tell from those who suffer from alcoholism, the blood vessels in your skin tend to pop, especially when you get to that point where the skin is really red from drinking. Chances are you've popped some blood vessels. And when you do that, you can never undo that damage. I mean, once you pop them, that's it. And the popping of the blood vessels is what sags the skin. And you will notice people who do drink excessively have layers of sagging skin. So I didn't do it very early on because I decided that I would wait until I was wise enough to know how to handle it. And here I am, and basically I don't really drink a whole lot. I drink casually. I may have a glass of champagne or even perhaps a glass of tequila with mineral soda because it tends to be less caloric. Obviously, drugs, number 3. Drugs is an obvious one. If you do drugs, that is going to age your body from the inside out. I gave up all dairy. All right, let's talk about dairy. Dairy is a big one. I gave up dairy when it wasn't popular to do so. When they were doing commercials saying, hey, dairy does a body good, wearing the dairy mustaches and all that. And the reason why I had the wherewithal to do that is because I had developed asthma when I was 19. And I was always really big on reading, which is another way I have stayed youthful. The mind needs to be fed in order to maintain youth as well. But that's another day. So one of the things I did was I read up on nutrition as much as possible. I bought a book, the A through Z Bible. Basically, it was the healing nutrition book, and they still have it. I'll show it to you sometime. And I learned that dairy, in fact, swells up all the organs in your body. And the reason why I was interested is because I had developed asthma very young, at 19, and I was absolutely mortified to discover that it was the dairy that was exacerbating my asthma because of the swelling of the lungs, and it swells up all the organs in your body. So, I mean, you can just imagine, it was very easy for me to make the decision at that moment in time to give up dairy permanently because I didn't want my immune system to have to fight harder throughout my life in order to maintain youth and longevity. And I had always made a promise to myself, I said it out loud, that I want to be as youthful as possible for as long as possible. All right, and number 5 for today is reading, something I mentioned just briefly a moment ago. And I had a tendency to read books about self-improvement when I was a lot younger. And one of the things I discovered early on before it became a scientific fact was the power of the mind and cognitive therapy, which I practice on my own, which they now call the power of neuroplasticity. There's an amazing book about it that I'll do a review on sometime. But basically, whatever you say out loud to yourself, your nervous system cannot differentiate between truth or false. So if you say it enough time repetitively, the nervous system will start to take it and believe it as truth. Again, the power of neuroplasticity, basically the potential perception of reality that you feed back to your nervous system, which is kind of like a machine. So the mind feeds it back by reiterating it out loud, and then the body takes it as truth and starts to proactively create that reality, that perception of reality as your truth. Anyway, thank you again for joining me. It's always a pleasure, and I hope to see you next week so that we can follow up on the next 5 keys to the natural fountain of youth and longevity. Please do not hesitate to leave messages, to ask questions. I will be happy to answer them in the next video that I do next week. And again, press on the bell icon so that you can receive future notifications. Thank you and have an amazing day. Ciao for now.